lost their jobs. So I think that people now, with the economy as it is right now, it's an employer's market, where if you're working on a job, how many of you saw the movie called Parenthood with Steve Martin? I was real. I said, wait a minute, look. We got a young guy who will work half for what you're getting. He will work longer hours. He's an animal. He doesn't have a family. He doesn't worry about the kids. He can work longer hours than you. Cost us less money and produce more. So he was in a dilemma. He couldn't compete. So the country's not looking for older people today. They're looking for ways to take the seasoned employee who's close to retirement, to fire them or to force them into early retirement, or make them so miserable or ship them from one place to the other until they quit. So therefore, there's a lot of fear in the workplace. So if you have something that says making it on your own, now you're striking the pulse of the people. So what is it that people want to know? Well, people who've been laid off, I want to try and get those. Good. How to start over again. There are some people who say, well, what am I going to do? I've been doing this for 25 years. Now I got to start all over again. So would they want to come to the seminar and do that? How to start over again, bouncing back from adversity. How to develop a financial strategy to make it through rough times. How to win in the 90s. So I'm looking at what's out there to fit something to meet those needs, touching the pulse, just in that area alone. Or if I look at, that's just for the general public, but let's say I want to go to a specific industry, and so there's a problem in motivating kids. So I look at what are all of the agencies that are dealing with kids and put together a seminar around how to develop and motivate our youth. Under the subtitles, how to increase academic enthusiasm, how to keep them motivated and wanting to go off to college, teaching them respect, how to resist negative peer pressure, how to develop a vision of themselves where drugs and alcohol doesn't fit into who they are. Will there be parents or schools who will say, I want you to go to that? Am I right? Because people want to know how to do these things. And taking the time to go to the library, talking to people who have had success in the area. I talk to people at corporations. What is it that you're doing? What are the problems you're facing? How do you see this being resolved? Okay. What are some of the major problems that you see here? Because I get a perspective from management, and then there's another perspective that I get from the people that's on the line or involved on a day-to-day basis. Two different perspectives. So when I incorporate my information in the speech, I know I want to say some things that will make management look good and not embarrass them, because they're the one that's writing my paycheck. But also saying some things that can empower the workers to want to do more, to achieve more, do it better than ever before out of a statement of who they are. Because if I serve their interests and they go to the manager and say, hey, we like this guy, see, I got to make it a win-win. These two adversaries. But, I don't have any enemies here. I have an interest in making both of them feel good by my addressing both of their agendas. So I talk about I said, you have to deal with the challenging situations here. In many cases where you're working long hours and you have to make a choice between your family and coming to work. Days when you want to keep driving right past the office. Many times there's no communication in the office and people create artificial turf and you're not relating together. And one negative person can drop the morale of the whole workplace. Now start dealing with the things that they're gripes and say, here's how we can begin to make this a win-win for everybody, and start bringing in the things that they're looking for and what management's looking for, and make a marriage of those things. The art of communicating, looking at it, being able to bring something out here so that I'm making a presentation that's custom designed for them. When I came out here, I decided not to have memorized speech, as many guys come out and give those memorized speeches, regardless of the audience. And I started following the top speakers around. I knew that after I saw them the third or fourth time, they would give the same speech verbatim. Now, there's nothing wrong with repeating stories when people ask you, or having a particular formula that you can give in various places, but you want to stay fresh with quotes and statistics. And if you get into a presentation, and if you see that this is not going to work for this audience, that you can change courses. But if you've got to remember what you've got to say, and this audience is not with you, you see, when you've got a memorized speech, when you give a speech, you've got to listen to the listening. You've got to listen to how people are listening to you. Because if they're not listening to you, then you've got to change up. You've got to interrupt that with something.